Item number 2 is the approval of the agenda. You have that before you. What is the wishes? Is there any additions or deletions? If not, I'll accept the motion to approve. Moved by the Councillor Durkee, seconded by Deputy Warden Cunningham. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Item number 3, does anybody have any declaration of any conflict of interest in the agenda as you see it? Hearing none, move on to item number 4, the approval of the minutes of May 24th, public transcript, special council meeting of 24th, June 19th, special council meeting, and June 19th, public transcript. I would accept a motion to approve. Go ahead, Councillor.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 24th, 2018, May 24th, or public transcript, the May 24th, 2018 special council meeting, June 19th, 2018 special council meeting, and June 19th, 2018 public transcript.
We have a mover to which seconded by Councillor Allen. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you very much. Item number 5, Warden's remarks. They're going to be short. I've been given direction by my fellow councillors this evening to keep my remarks short. Well, it's only been 2 weeks basically, so I don't have a lot to comment on, other than I attended both the July 1st Canada Day celebrations in the town on the public wharfs. It was very enjoyable, a fair amount of people and so on. My wife Diana and I stayed and listened to some of the entertainment. Later on, we went over to the lighthouse, the Yarmouth Light, for Shoe, and we enjoyed the festivities that were being held over there. They were very enjoyable and so on. To Councillor Durkee, the cake was really appetizing, other than my wife wouldn't give me a very big piece. I don't know if you cut it or she sliced it after, but it was very small, but it was tasty. But I think the people that I talked to and so on seemed to enjoy the music, the festivities. I didn't realize that there was a couple of your bands were very, very young people, and they were very talented. I was really impressed. My wife Diane and I then traveled back into town and watched the fireworks, and it was very enjoyable. This upcoming week is the beginning of Seafest in the town of Yarmouth. I believe Councillor Durkee would be the classic car show, and that is from when to when?
Parade is Friday night.
This Friday.
Yep. And the car show is Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question. Do you know how many registrations there is, whatever, at this time?
We actually don't register in
Oh, okay.
advance.
Okay.
We register when people arrive, and we're expecting over 600 cars. Over 600 cars.
Really? I didn't realize it. Okay, that's great. Well, that's good for everybody and so on. And I know that's going on. There's some other festivities going on within Yarmouth County, but also there's a lot of festivities within all of the province of Nova Scotia going on. So if you have the opportunity to go to any of them in Yarmouth County, please do so. And if you wish to travel, I don't know if there's anything up through the Clare, which I'm quite sure there is, Clare, Metagan, Weymouth area. There's always something. If not, just go for the beautiful drive within Southwest Nova. I know you'll enjoy yourself. On that note, that's your warden's remarks. I told you to keep it short. Item number 6, business arising. Was there any business from the minutes? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 7, new business, 7.1, CAO's August vacation. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take annual leave the week that we are intended to have our council meeting in August. And so there are some operational requests I have around that. Firstly, would council prefer to move the date so that I can attend the meeting? And secondly, if we do, there's an impact on a public hearing for the amendment to the bylaw that we entertained last month. So we would have to meet on August the 15th in order to comply with that, if you choose to change your council date because of my leave.
What is the wishes of have to get in the morning. Okay, we'd be moving council from the 8th to the 15th. Councillor Cushion?
I would suggest that we accommodate our CAO to her request.
Accept. Okay, been moved by Councillor Cunningham, seconded by Councillor Allen. All in favor? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Councillor, Deputy Warden.
I guess I have a question through you, Mr. Chair, to the CAO in that regards, in regards to the public hearing for the land use rezoning out on, how is that going to affect that? Because if I'm not mistaken, the advertisements are supposed to hit the paper, or have they not hit the paper?
They haven't gone yet, and typically what you try to do, if I understand the history correctly, is have those hearings jive with a council meeting.
Okay. I just wanted that clarified because I know that this person is looking to rezone their land so that they can put up a building, and I just wanted to make sure that the information already hasn't been set out,
Right.
that we're gonna have the public hearing on this date, when it's really, we've changed it, so I just wanted to be very clear of that, so thank you very much.
Okay.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Question being called. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you very much. 7.2, June Development Report. What is your wishes? You had that in your package. Pardon me? Yes. Do we make a motion? Do we have a seconder? Okay, moved by Councillor Trevor Cunningham, seconded by Patty Durkee. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. 7.3, request for loan from Port Maitland Volunteer Fire Department. You have all the information in your package. 7.3.1, Volunteer Emergency Service Provider Capital Loan Policy. And 7.3.2, brief for council's decision. You have that. Go ahead, Councillor.
I'll make a motion to approve the request from Port Maitland Volunteer Fire Department to, I don't have the exact,
180.
sorry, I've lost the,
It's 180,000.
for 180,000, to approve the loan for $180,000. Thank you very much.
Okay. It's been moved. Do we have a seconder for that? Or it's been moved by Councillor Durkee, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Was there further discussion, or do you wish to take a little more time to go ahead, Councillor?
The only thing I would add, that it does state up to,
Yes.
so that should be reflected if it's okay by the mover.
Okay. Mover's fine with that?
I think we may want to look at, are we taking a mortgage on the property for security? Like normally what we do is when we purchase, say for example, fire trucks, we'll take a personal property act lien on things, so I would assume that we would want a first mortgage on the building and security for this.
If I'm not mistaken, that would be in the capital loans policy, would it not?
It's 2.5. Municipalities to have
Secure a first mortgage.
or a first lien on the asset being purchased, unless a banking institution holds it first, and then we can take a second on it. So I don't know if they have a mortgage on it now. My guess is no. So if they
No.
don't, then we can have a first mortgage
No.
on after that.
Yeah, and that would be in the application anyway, would it not? That's
That states in
policy.
here that they have no debts withstanding,
That's correct.
Yeah,
or, sorry, no debt outstanding.
indeed. Go ahead. Oh, okay. We require that you turn your mics on, please, when the secretary can't hear you, or the executive secretary can't hear you. So what are you saying, Raymond, that we should put that into the motion? Request
Yeah,
at the 100?
it's subject to them providing with I guess, a first or second mortgage, depending if there's one there already, for security for the loan.
I'll agree to add that to the motion.
Okay. The seconder agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. You have that, Liz? Okay. Was there any further discussion on that request? You ready for the question? Question being called. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you very much. 7.4, Remo. You have that. Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to accept the recommendation from the CAO to pursue a regional emergency management operations with the town of Yarmouth and the municipality of Argyle. Also further to recommend that the existing joint EMO executive to appoint Max Stuhlberger as acting EMC for a 3-month renewable term until the REMO is completed, and that Miss Jeanette Dowsett be recommended to the joint EMO executive as the lead facilitator on the transition to the REMO structure.
We've had a mover. Do we have a seconder? Been moved by Deputy Warden Cunningham, seconded by Councillor Cushion. Was there any further discussion on that motion? Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
I think this is something that's been a long time coming that I've certainly been talking about for the past 2 terms of me being councillor. I think that this is a good fit because disasters don't know borders. They don't know the border between us and the town or us and Argyle. So I think it's a good fit for the region. And I certainly hope that everyone approves this motion that I made.
No further discussion? Question being called. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. 7.5, invitation to new Department of Municipal Affairs Minister. What is your request? You had that in your package? Does somebody wish to make? Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, given that there's been a cabinet shuffle in the last week and we have a new minister responsible for municipal government, the item is on the agenda. Should this council wish to invite him to come down and meet with you?
Is that direction you want to give? Go ahead, Councillor.
Yes, I think that's very reasonable, and we can look to draft an agenda for that as well as we move closer to the meeting date. So, provided we're given a meeting, I'm sure we will be. So I would say that would be what we want to do.
Okay. Just direction, or you need it as a motion? Go ahead, Councillor.
I think all we need is direction, is it not?
Yeah.
And I had my button on the same time Trevor did, so I agree with Trevor. We should get him down there sooner the better, and let's keep a good working relationship with municipal affairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, we're moving right along. I'm moving too fast here. 7.6, letter of support request. Councillor Cushion. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Warden. Excuse me. I was contacted by a member of the Lake George Fire Department, and they require a letter of support to be submitted to a federal department indicating that a New Horizons Seniors program, they're looking for funding. And so, therefore, I'd like to move that the municipality of Yarmouth write a letter of support to the Lake George Fire Department, agreeing with the benefits that New Horizons Senior Group would bring to their community. I do know they want to expand on their kitchen facilities and whatnot, so that's what I'd like to bring forward.
So you're requesting a letter?
I'm making a motion.
You're making a motion?
Yes.
Do we have a seconder for that? Do you understand what he's asked for? It's in your package.
No.
Oh, it's not in their package?
No.
I'm sorry. I have it here on a piece of paper. I don't have it on mine neither, but I have it here. Hey, Lauren, can you elaborate a little? Well, go ahead, Councillor Allen.
I just had a question as far as they're looking for a letter of support, but they're not looking for any type of financial support from us?
Not from us on this particular. It's a New Horizon through the federal government, and what New Horizon does is give out money to organizations who are going to be helping seniors out and whatnot. In this particular case, they're looking to expand their kitchen or redo their kitchen in order to service the seniors in a much more efficient way. So there's no money coming from us. It's coming from the federal, but the federal government, New Horizon Group, they asked for a letter from support from other financial contributors, because the municipality of Yarmouth did contribute to them. The province did contribute to them. So they just want to know that, you know, there's other people who are involved in their organization to make things happen. So, yeah.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I have the New Horizons Senior Program is a federal program, so it's a pan-Canadian program, and the mandate reads from the Government of Canada website, the growth in the population of seniors in Canada is accelerating, with the total number of seniors projected to reach approximately 10 million by 2036. Empowering seniors, encouraging them to share their knowledge, skills, and experience with others in the community, enhancing seniors' social well-being and community vitality are goals of the New Horizons Senior Program. So in order for a community to have a program, there has to be support from financial contributors to that community group in order for the federal umbrella agency to allow that chapter to exist in that community.
Okay, before I turn on anybody else's mic, I'd like to have somebody second the motion before we have any further discussion. It's been seconded by the Deputy Warden. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you. Through you to Councillor Cushing.
Lauren?
I know that the Lake George Fire Department has made a significant request to the province and the federal government for an addition to their building, which fortunately the province has approved. So I wondered if this, I was not aware of this, but I'm wondering if this is in addition to the request that they had made, and I'm drawing a blank on whether or not there had already been. There's big improvements coming to with the addition of the facility, so I don't know if that was part of that original request or not. So maybe Lauren can answer that question for me.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Yeah, well, the New Horizon group is a separate grant. I mean, just to give you a little background, I applied for the same type of grant our community hall in Pembroke also applied for the same type of grant, and this grant will be coming out in January sometime once they're approved. But they have to be submitted it's for improvement of the structure. So they want to improve their kitchen facilities. It has nothing to do with the new building that they're building. It's to improve their kitchen structure so they can be more efficient. That's basically what it is. So, okay.
Okay, was there any further discussion on that? Question being called. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 8 is committee reports. You also have that in your package. I guess I'll go down through them. Audit committee, there was no meeting. Bylaw and policy. Councillor Durkee, bylaw and policy, did you wish to give a short, go ahead?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I want to say that our community, our bylaw committee, which is our council, and Larry Phillips are working diligently on the cannabis legalization, and we're looking very carefully at the bylaws that are coming from the province and Canada, and looking at how it's going to affect our community. And we've had some great discussion on moving forward with what we want to do.
Okay, thank you. District planning, there's been no meeting. Go ahead.
You're correct, Mr. Warden, that there has been no meeting. However, at our meeting that we attended at the Grand Hotel the other day, one subject came up about the coastal erosion, which is very close to my concern because of the district that I represent, and probably also in Councillor Allen's district also. They were suggesting about a mapping procedure that could be done to identify where these coastal erosion, I'm trying to think, saltwater wetlands and saltwater marshes are, and so that we, you know, we can go forward in knowing how to protect them. So I was wondering, how do we go about doing this, getting into this type of mapping idea? Maybe it's something I shouldn't be talking about at this particular time, but I thought I'd bring it up anyway.
It's a great question. So the mapping that Councillor Cushing is referring to is called LIDAR, L-I-D-A-R, LIDAR mapping. And basically it's a light impulse that bounces off the earth and it gives you 3D topographical images of the ground. It's extremely expensive. There's a very small portion of the province that has the mapping done. So it is a function of financial resources about why it's not done thus far.
Okay.
I know that PVSC, if I'm not mistaken, could be a partner down the road. Once in a while, there's been money available for it, and the sections of this municipality that are done, that's how they've been done.
Okay.
So that's why it's not done.
Okay. All right. So this is something we can keep on the radar if there's some funds that come available that we can be on top of it and tap into it to have these areas done. It'd be something to keep on in
I think
the back burner.
I believe staff are aware of it and
Okay.
so on, as the CAO just mentioned and so on, and if there would be some funding through
Yeah.
one of the departments or whatever that comes up,
Yeah.
we should if we can
Okay.
tap into it to do so. So,
Good.
Good point.
Thank you.
Emergency Measures Executive Committee, there is no meeting. Emergency Measures Planning Committee meeting, I don't believe there was no meeting for them. The Occupational Health and Safety Committee. Heritage Advisory Committee, I'm not sure, I don't believe there was a meeting. Please correct me if I'm Planning Advisory Committee meeting.
So there is one next week.
Yeah. Go ahead, Deputy Ward, you're on.
Yes, Mr. Chair, there is a Planning Advisory Committee meeting next Tuesday. However, I'm going for an operation on my teeth. No, Councillor Allen, you can't take them out for free before you start. So I'm going to be requesting that the Vice Chair, Ann Jones, chair the meeting, and I'm going to be sending out an email to Councillor Allen LeBlanc, see if one of those two could attend that meeting in my place. There still may be a chance I'll attend, but I don't know what kind of condition I'll be in. But there is one next Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Yarmouth County Police Advisory, it's been no meeting. Yarmouth Recreation Committee, has there been a meeting yet? There has not been a meeting. Friends of the Light. Go ahead, Councillor.
I do know that Friends of Light had their annual general meeting. I was unable to attend. That was on the June 28th. I had made prior commitments to be at the graduation ceremonies at the Mariner Center, and so I did miss out on that. But although I did miss out on it, I got to say the graduation was very rewarding to attend and see those young students come across the stage. However, my understanding is that the AGM, you hold elections and get a new board. I'm assuming that there's a new board in place. I haven't been informed yet of who the members are and whatnot, but I'm sure I'll know that once we have our next meeting. Secondly, I would like to mention about the Canada Day. I think it went very well from what my wife and I seen, and the festivity went on at the Cape Fichu Lake Station, and I just want the council to know how impressive those young musicians and older musicians were there, and it's just amazing the talent that we have in our area, and it's just wonderful to hear local music. So that was very good. And number 3 is really not directly to do with Friends of the Light, but I'd like to comment on the volunteers who continue to pick up garbage along Highway 304, and I certainly look forward to the day that we can have at least one garbage receptacle installed along Highway 304 near the monument of Yarmouth Bar. So, it all ties into one. It had nothing to do with Friends of the Light, but because you have to go on Highway 304, and I think you'll find that is one of the cleanest roads that we do have because of those special volunteers out there. So I certainly like to see us move on to get a waste receptacle there. And I know Councilor Allen has a place he likes to have one too. So just like to mention that.
Okay, thank you. Joint Green Energy Committee, I don't believe there's been any meeting. Number 3, Mariner Center Management Board, I didn't see any package in our agenda. Regional Economic Management Board, no meeting. Western County Regional Library, no meeting. YASTA, has there been a meeting? No meeting. Waste Check, there's been no meeting. Yarmouth Area Industrial Commission, the meeting is next Monday at 5:15. I believe some of the information has been sent out to the board members and so on. Yarmouth Waterfront Development Committee, Authority, sorry. Yarmouth International Airport Corporation. We had a meeting yesterday at 2:30 here at the Municipality of Yarmouth. We went over different items and so on, and one of the items that was approved was CBCL's final report on the airside assessment and options analysis study for the airport. That was accepted by the board. Went over the financials, discussion on, as we all know, that Alain Muse is the interim manager at this time, and we will be looking here in the very near future for a person to possibly manage both the airport and the Yarmouth Area Industrial Commission. That was just talked very briefly at the end of our meeting. Basically, that's the summary, unless the CAO has anything else to add. Is there any questions? Someone? Hearing none? Okay. Signs Committee. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Signs Committee met last week. We had a great meeting and talked about looking at possibility of some wayfinding signage and getting someone to do a little research on that. We talked about identifying different areas and the assets that we have that we want to identify, particularly to tourists in our area. So it sounds like we're probably going to be embarking on a small project that will
Good.
beautify and help identify our area.
Yeah. As you well aware, I do a lot of traveling within Nova Scotia to meetings, not on personal business, but on municipal business. And I did mention to, I can't remember now, I think it was to the past Minister of Municipal Affairs, about he doesn't have any direct responsibility to TIR, but I asked him to be in touch with Mr. Hines pertaining to a lot of the roadside signs that are maintained by TIR and how the shape and the condition they are, especially through the South Shore. As I mentioned to him, I know where I'm going, I know a lot of the area, but any tourists looking at some of the roadside signs are pretty bad shape. So to the Signs Committee, any sign that we can do or put up within our community on our behalf is a benefit to any tourist that comes here. Because if we look in the town of Yarmouth just lately, they've installed a lot of information, and they're good information signs and so on. And it has really impressed me when I go, you know, if I was a newbie tourist, that I could find a lot of the places that I'd want to go just by those information signs. So I think it's a great idea. Go ahead, Councillor.
We also talked about working with TIR to help identify some of those missing signs and to look at their requirements prior to the municipality posting anything, so that we make sure that we meet their requirements as well. But I think, yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Okay, great. Great work. And I think that's all. The item number 9 is in-camera recommendations, and I believe that has been dealt with. So I only have one comment or one bit of information that I wish to give to you. I told you I was going to hold off until the end here. Please forgive me, I have to go into my phone. Oh, get out. Just a second, give me a second here. I received this afternoon, and it's from Acadia First Nations. Dear Warden Anthony, on behalf of the Chief and Council of Acadian First Nations, I would like to extend an invitation for you to attend our upcoming grand opening of the Rose Purdy Recreation and Community Center on July 20th, beginning at 1 p.m. at 15 Burbine Street, Yarmouth. That's on the reserve. The Rose Purdy Recreation and Community Center was named in memory of one of our community members who worked for the Acadia First Nation community for 28 years. This center will commemorate her loyal dedication and commitment to the Mi'kmaq people and will be a place for Acadian First Nation community members to meet, share ideas, teachings, and collaboratively work together in the goals of enhancing our communities. We believe that your presence at our celebration will showcase our community's joint effort in working together and supporting one another as we move forward in this time of reconciliation. We hope to see you at the celebration. Please RSVP. So I did call. I wasn't able to make contact, but I left a voice message and they emailed me back. My request was the invitation only to me, or could I extend it to my fellow councillors? The email that came back was that my fellow councillors, you are invited if you so wish. The only thing is I will send you the email contacts because they would like you to RSVP, because I think they want to know the amount of people who will be showing up. But this is on July 20th at 1 o'clock. But I'll send you the email and so on, because I only received this evening at around 6 o'clock. So the email that we're all invited to attend if you so wish, and so on. So, was there any further business of council at this time? Does anybody have any discussions or requests? So approved. Thank you.